A 60-year-old man asked an AI chatbot for diet advice and ended up with permanent brain damage and psychosis. An algorithm cut off physical therapy for thousands of elderly patients, leaving them permanently disabled. These aren't software bugs that can be patched with an update. These are biological mistakes that destroyed lives forever. And the worst part is, we're creating more of them every single day. Let's talk about the medical AI errors that have no undo button and why nobody's stopping them. Before we get into this nightmare, drop a comment and tell me, would you trust an AI to make medical decisions about your health? Or does the idea of a machine diagnosing you sound like a terrible plan? All right, so let's start with what makes these AI mistakes different from regular medical errors. When a doctor prescribes the wrong pill, you can usually catch it pretty fast. You have a bad reaction, you go back to the doctor, they figure out what went wrong and they fix it. That's a mistake with a solution. But the medical AI mistakes we're talking about are what researchers call silent errors. These are mistakes where the AI incorrectly classifies something serious as benign or low risk, and because the doctor trusts the machine, the patient gets sent home. Why can't these be undone? Because by the time anyone realizes the AI was wrong, the window for treatment has closed forever. The damage is biologically permanent. You can't give someone back the golden hour for treating a stroke. You can't rewind time and catch cancer at stage 1 after it's already metastasized. Once that treatment window closes, it's gone. And the AI doesn't care because the AI doesn't understand what it just did. Let's talk about a real case that's absolutely terrifying. In 2025, a 60-year-old man decided to use an AI chatbot to help him create a low-salt diet. Sounds reasonable enough, right? He's trying to be healthy, and AI is supposed to be this amazing tool that has access to all human knowledge. So he asked the chatbot for suggestions on how to reduce his sodium intake. The AI, being confidently wrong in the way only AI can be, suggested he replace table salt with sodium bromide. Now, if you know anything about chemistry or medical history, sodium bromide should immediately set off alarm bells. This stuff was phased out as a sedative about a century ago, specifically because it's toxic to humans. It accumulates in your body and causes serious neurological damage. But the AI presented this advice with complete confidence. No warnings, no disclaimers, just, hey, try sodium bromide instead of salt. And because the AI sounded so sure of itself, the man followed the advice. For 3 months, he dosed himself with a toxic substance for 3 months because a chatbot told him to, and now he has permanent neurological damage and psychosis. Think about what that means. This man asked for help being healthier and ended up with irreversible brain damage because he trusted a machine that had no idea what it was actually saying. And here's the kicker, there's no accountability for this. The AI company can point to their terms of service that say, don't use this for medical advice. The man can't sue anyone because technically he made the choice to follow the advice. The damage is permanent and nobody is responsible. This is what happens when AI provides confident toxicity. It's not just guessing wrong in a hospital setting where doctors might catch the error. It's giving dangerous advice directly to patients at home who have no way of knowing the AI is completely full of garbage. And this is happening right now today with millions of people using AI chatbots for health questions. But individual cases are just the tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about systemic mistakes that affect thousands of people at once. United Health had an algorithm called NH Predict that was designed to predict how long elderly patients needed to stay in nursing homes for recovery. Sounds efficient, right? Let the algorithm crunch the numbers and optimize healthcare resources. Except the algorithm was wrong, like massively wrong. When patients appealed the decisions, it turned out the AI was incorrect about 90% of the time. 90%. That's not a machine learning model, that's a random number generator with a corporate logo. But here's the thing. Even though it was wrong 90% of the time, it was still being used to cut off care for thousands of elderly patients. And this is where the can't be undone part becomes crystal clear. For an 80-year-old patient with a broken hip, being denied 2 weeks of physical therapy isn't just a paperwork error that gets corrected later. Those 2 weeks are the critical recovery window where muscles either rebuild or atrophy permanently. You cannot give someone back those weeks once they're gone. So what happened is thousands of elderly patients got sent home too early, missed their critical recovery window, and ended up with permanent loss of mobility. Some of them will never walk again because an algorithm decided they didn't need more therapy. And even after it was discovered that the algorithm was wrong 90% of the time, the damage was already done. You can't undo muscle atrophy. You can't restore mobility that was lost because someone wasn't getting the therapy they needed during the crucial recovery period. The insurance company probably saved money in the short term by cutting off care early, but they destroyed lives. And here's the really messed up part. This is legally considered following the standard of care because the algorithm was the approved system. So doctors who followed the AI's recommendations can't be sued for malpractice because they were following protocol. And the AI company can't be sued because of terms of service and the fact that the final decision was technically made by humans. It's what researchers call black box malpractice. Nobody is legally responsible, even though thousands of people were permanently harmed. The system created a situation where catastrophic mistakes can happen with zero accountability, and that system is still running right now, making decisions about people's healthcare. But wait, it gets worse. Let's talk about the poison data set. This is how silent errors happen. The AI flags something serious as low risk. The doctor sees the AI's assessment, feels the psychological pull of automation bias, and decides to trust the machine. The patient gets sent home, and by the time someone realizes the AI was wrong, it's too late. The stroke happened hours ago. The cancer progressed past the treatable stage. The infection became septic. The window closed. And here's the thing that makes this so insidious. Most of the time, the AI is probably right, or at least not catastrophically wrong, so doctors build up trust in the system. They see it work correctly 99 times, and then on the 100th time when it's dangerously wrong, they trust it anyway because it's been reliable before. That's how automation bias works. It's a trap that gets stronger the more you use the system. Let's talk about dataset shift, which is another way these unfixable mistakes happen. An AI model works great in the lab. It's tested on thousands of cases from the training data, and it performs beautifully, so it gets deployed in the real world. And then it starts failing because the real world doesn't look exactly like the training data. Maybe the training data came from major research hospitals with state-of-the-art imaging equipment, but the AI is being used in rural clinics with older machines. Maybe the training data had a certain demographic breakdown that doesn't match the actual patient population. Maybe the training data was from before a new variant of a disease emerged. Whatever the reason, the real-world data is shifted from what the AI learned, and suddenly it's making mistakes. And these mistakes are really hard to catch because the AI still sounds confident. It's still producing detailed analyses and precise predictions. It just doesn't realize that what it's looking at is different from what it learned. So it applies the wrong patterns and reaches the wrong conclusions, and because it seems so sure of itself, people trust it. The medical field has something called the golden hour for certain conditions. It's the critical time window where treatment can prevent permanent damage. For strokes, it's about 4.5 hours where clot-busting drugs can restore blood flow and save brain tissue. After that window closes, the brain damage is permanent. Now imagine an AI system in an emergency room that's designed to triage patients and identify strokes quickly. Sounds like a great application of technology, right? Faster diagnosis, better outcomes. Except when the AI misses a stroke and flags the patient as low priority. The patient sits in the waiting room while their brain is dying. By the time someone realizes the AI was wrong, the golden hour has passed. The brain damage is permanent. There's no undo button. And this has happened. There are documented cases of AI triage systems missing critical conditions because they were trained on data that didn't include enough examples of how those conditions present in real emergency room settings. The AI learned patterns from clean, clear-cut cases in the training data, but real patients are messy. Symptoms overlap, presentations are atypical, and when the AI encounters something that doesn't fit its learned patterns perfectly, it can fail catastrophically. The really scary part is that we're scaling these systems up massively right now. Hospitals are under pressure to adopt AI to stay competitive and cut costs. Insurance companies are pushing AI-based decision tools. Patients are using AI chatbots for medical questions. The technology is being deployed faster than we can study its failure modes or put proper safeguards in place. And every mistake that gets made is potentially permanent. Every misdiagnosis during a critical treatment window, every incorrect algorithm, cutting off necessary care. Every toxic advice given by a confident chatbot. These aren't bugs that can be patched in the next software update. These are lives that have been permanently altered or ended. Let's go back to that United Health algorithm for a second because it perfectly illustrates the accountability problem. After it was revealed that the algorithm was wrong 90% of the time, on appeals, there was some news coverage and public outrage. But what actually changed? Were the patients who were harmed compensated? Were the people who deployed the faulty system held accountable? Did anyone go to jail for essentially using a broken algorithm to deny necessary medical care to thousands of elderly people? No, because the system is set up in a way where nobody is responsible. The AI company says they're just providing a tool and the humans make the final decisions. The insurance company says they were following the approved protocol. The doctors say they were following the algorithm that the institution required them to use. And the patients who can't walk anymore because they were denied physical therapy during their critical recovery window, they're just out of luck. So there you have it. Medical AI is making unfixable mistakes that permanently destroy lives, from toxic diet advice causing brain damage to algorithms cutting off care during critical recovery windows. Nobody is held accountable, and the errors are poisoning medical databases that will train future AI. If you think this is a problem that needs way more attention and regulation before it gets worse, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been harmed by algorithmic healthcare decisions.